Today he's back with us tomorrow, and I know he's bummed because he loves talking 49ers, as do I. And one of the all-time greats, the Hall of Famer, the super stud linebacker, Patrick Willis, joining us here on the show. Patrick, I'm Jason Ross. How are you this morning?
Doing fantastic. How about you all?
Doing great. Do you ever get tired of hearing that? Hall of Famer, Patrick Willis? I mean, I would just have everybody call me that if I was a Hall of Famer.
Hey, absolutely not, man. I'm honored. I'm humbled. Just grateful that I can have that title in front of my name. Yeah.
Well, something I didn't know until the Super Bowl last time that was in Santa Clara, and had a chance down there at Radio Row to talk a lot of Hall of Famers too. That inside the jacket that you get, amongst many other the great perks, your Hall of Fame number. What's your Hall of Fame number? Do you know that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. See, look, I got excited just real quick. Yes, my number is 378.
And what do you do with the coat? Like, where do you keep that?
Yeah, right now I have it in the closet in a suit bag. I have it right next to my Hall of Fame, my 49ers Hall of Fame jacket as well. And so, I just keep it nice. And I actually think I went and got it cleaned the other day for the first time. And so I was like, hey, listen, make sure, this is the same cleaner I've used for years, but I'm like, listen, make sure you take care of this jacket now. Don't you mess it up. I'm gonna have to come in here and tackle everybody.
I can't believe you. I mean, look, I'm sure you trust your cleaner, but you really took it to a cleaner's?
Yeah. I feel like, man, I've been using the same cleaners for forever now, and so I take it to clean. That's the only way you can get it clean. You can't take it anywhere else. And so I'm only gonna take it to somebody that I know that has my best clothes in mind.
Yeah. Well, how often do you get to wear it, Patrick? I'm sure that, at the Super Bowl week, which we're 60 days away now, but how often in a year would you say you get the opportunity to wear that?
Well, I was inducted in 2024. I probably have worn it maybe one time, and I think the time I went to wear it, I didn't actually have to wear it, and so I was like, you know what, I'm just going to put it to the side then if I don't have to have it on. But it's like one of those things where it reminds me of when I was growing up with my grandmother. Growing up, my grandmother's home. When you go in her home, there were certain rooms that you didn't go in, or there were certain things you didn't touch.
Yes.
And I feel like that's how that jacket is, where it's up and only for special occasions, will I pull it out.
Yeah, you learned that really quick. I don't know what the punishment was for you, but you didn't mess with stuff at the grandparents' house, huh?
No, you didn't.
As we're talking with Patrick Willis, Hall of Famer, he's going to be a part of the festivities. I mean, to kind of be one of the hosts, I would say, Patrick, when the Super Bowl comes to Santa Clara in 60 days. It's the experience presented by Jersey Mike's and Super Bowl opening night fueled by Gatorade. Obviously, you'd love to see the 49ers there, but either way, as someone that's played in the Super Bowl, what is that week truly like? I know the players always try to say it's another game, but it can't be. That just seems like such a wild couple of weeks to get ready for the big game.
Yeah, I mean, it's an intense time for sure. It's one of those things where you've heard people say, man, the team that has been there before is a team that has the higher chance to win. And it makes sense because when I think back on that game, I remember what I felt like playing that game, and I remember what I felt like a week after, and I remember what I feel like now. And I've said to myself, like, man, if we could have got back there again, I think would have been a lot more sound. I would have been able to feel my feet underneath me and whatnot. I feel like the game was so big and the stage was so immaculate that it was the first. I haven't felt that way since I was a rookie, getting ready to play my first NFL game on Monday Night Football. That's how intense it was. And then you just want to go out there and play great because you know how hard it is to win. And considering my career when I started, the first 3 or 4 years wasn't the best. And so to get to the playoffs the year before, get to the NFC Championship the year before and come up short. And then, the next year to get to the Super Bowl and, not win it, I was hoping that 2013 season was it, but then it just didn't get it done.
Yeah, so I'm thinking if I take you back to that, you were in big games before and, like you said, conference championships. But I don't know, to me, as someone that's watched the Super Bowl, when it gets to I don't know, 15 minutes away, and if it's, I know you guys were in New Orleans, so it was the Dome, but if it's a flyover, if it's whoever's doing the anthem, which is usually some mega star, the way the intros go, it just feels so massive. Is that what you're talking about? Like it just, you really like felt like a rookie, like the nerves were there.
Yeah. I mean, it was most definitely, for me at least, I had nerves, and like you said, I had played a bunch of games up to that point, but when I think about what I felt like, it reminded me of what I felt like the very first game that I had, that I remember telling Coach Singleton. He looked at me and he said, "You all right, Pat?" I said, I was looking at him. He said, "What, you all right?" I said, "Coach, I think I'm about to pass out." Well, I'm not gonna say I was about to pass out that day, but I just felt really light on my feet. I felt too light, as if like I wasn't there, but I know I was, but it was just the feeling of the game itself. But like I said, I would say if I had the opportunity to go back again and play in that game again, I know that I would feel like.
Yeah, what's amazing at that time of your career, if I'm not mistaken, if I have the numbers right, you're probably I think you were in year 6 or 7 of your career. So like you had played a little bit, and so there's probably some young guys looking at you going like, how's he reacting? And if you were feeling that way, I can't imagine what they were feeling.
Yeah. I was, I think it was year 7. And again, I don't know if it was more so just the pressure that I put on myself to, it's like anything, like, you prepare, and even though you prepare, you still have to go out and execute. And so for me, that was, a big part of my mind was like, man, not only is this the biggest game that I've ever played in, but I'm also playing against a guy across from me who I have admired his game for so long, even watched it before I even got to the league. And so to be, lined up across from him, in your head, you're like, man, I have to make sure I got to be at my best today. I got to make sure everything is sound, from the steps to taking on the blockers to making tackles. Everything had to be perfect for my own reasons, our own team reasons, but then also you had the man himself, on the other side, and you always want to make sure that you make some rackets. So you're like, all right.
Yeah. As we're talking with Hall of Famer Patrick Willis, who will be a part of the Super Bowl festivities when it comes to Santa Clara in 60 days. Patrick, just hearing you talk, I feel like I don't know what it is. It's human nature for a lot of people. You have so many accolades, Niners Hall of Fame, the NFL Hall of Fame, all these awards, considered one of the greats. Yet, and you have all these great wins. It feels like, just hearing you, like the Super Bowl loss probably, does that sit with you more than anything you did that would have way more positives attached to it?
I feel like it does. It's one of those things where when people ask me about the game, I tell them, I say, I'm grateful for it, and I don't want to be ungrateful by saying, man, I would have loved to, I wanted to win this. I wanted to have this. I just want to be grateful that I had the opportunity to be able to do what I did. But I will say, man, it does sound amazing when you're at alumni games and you hear the guys being called out, you guys all being called out, and you hear them calling out the 89, not the 89, but the early squads that won the Super Bowls. And you hear them say, Super Bowl champion and Hall of Famer, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, wow, man, that sounds so absolutely amazing. And then to have gotten that close, to have had a team like we had, and to have gotten that close, you can't help but think back and like, man, it was right there.
Yeah.
It was right there. But, it's what it is.
Well, look, we're just witnessing something pretty special. Phillip Rivers was called back to the Colts. He's been out for 5 years. Look, while Fred Warner's out, Patrick, I mean, look, the Niners could make a run. We get you back out there. Any chance of that?
You know what, man? I appreciate the game and I admire the game, and I'm rooting for Phillip Rivers. But for myself, it would have to be one of those things where I don't even know. I don't even know. I'm just, again, I'm just grateful for the journey that I had. And obviously, there's things that I feel sometimes, you hear your coaches sometimes when you sit in those meetings and your coach would say, man, if I could just run down the field one time and make a tackle, and you look at him like, Coach, what? Why are you even thinking that? You like 100 years old. Like, how you want to run down the field and make a tackle? But when you love the game and when it's in you, I don't care how long you've been away from it. I don't care how far you are away from it. It's something in you that when you're around it and you feel it, you just want to go and do it.
Yeah.
And so I think I've had those moments. I think maybe it's like a love that you'll never ever forget. But you probably had to move on.
Yeah. Well, it's been great catching up with you, Patrick. I know you're going to be a part of the festivities to get everybody kind of as a host, right? Welcoming all those from the NFL community around in 60 days. And again, the Super Bowl experience presented to you by Jersey Mike's, and Super Bowl opening night is fueled by Gatorade. I know it's going to be a fun time for you. Let's hope the Niners are a part of it. And Patrick, we wish you nothing but the best going forward, and keep that jacket clean and in good shape.
Hey, most definitely. I appreciate it. And again, make sure you all come out and check it out. And remember, kids 12 and under, they get in free every day. So come out, have a great time. If you're young, test your skills and see what you have. If you're old and you think you still got it, test your skills and see what you have. But all in all, come out and let's have a great time.
Awesome. Thank you, Patrick. We appreciate it, and we'll talk to you again soon.
That sounds great. Have a good one.
All right, you too. That is Hall of Famer Patrick Willis. Man. Still would love to get out there. I feel like I know he probably stopped at the right time for him because, probably had a little bit more left in his career, but what a fulfilling career he had, a Hall of Fame career at that. Love catching up with him. Before we break, Chris, do we have time to get in who's hot and who's not?
What's hot, what's not? Brought to you by American Energy Home Pros, making the uncomfortable comfortable. Head to AmericanEnergy.com to find out more.